This is OGTV News. Thanks so much for joining us. I am Bukola Agbakesu. Our top stories. State legislature receive backing of governors for financial autonomy. Ogun State government inaugurates economic transformation program to boost food production. Nigeria loses $5 billion to discrepancies in crude oil production data. World Health Organization allays fear on blood clot link to AstraZeneca vaccine. Your failure does not define you, your determination does.
And on sport, NFF President Amaju Pinnick wins FIFA Council seat. Details of this and more stories coming your way on the sports segment of the news. I am Emmanuel Dasaudu.
We'll begin with the story from Abuja. Governor Aminu Tambuwal of Sokoto State has assured that the 36 state governors have given the backing to financial autonomy for state legislators and judiciary. Tambuwal, who gave the assurance after leading the chairman of State Legislators Conference to meet with the Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, said that modalities for the implementation of the financial autonomy will be finalized on Thursday next week. The Sokoto State Governor was accompanied by Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State, who was once a Speaker of the State House of Assembly, and his Zamfara State counterpart, Bello Matuwali. Speaking to State House correspondents, Tambuwal, who was a former Speaker of the House of Representatives, said the meeting was on the instruction of President Muhammadu Buhari.
So it's a continuous meeting, and we are going to meet next week, Thursday, where we hope to finalize on the framework and modalities of implementing the autonomy of the state legislature and the state judiciary.
How soon do you hope to see it happen?
Well, by next week, Thursday, we are meeting to finalize the framework.
And you are giving assurance that you are going to do it?
We are all in support of it, by the grace of God.
Your Excellency, we also want to talk about the minimum wage issue has been talked about.
Minimum wage? Is there any problem with the minimum wage?
Yes, some state governments have not really implemented, and
Labour is on protest.
Well, they are meeting with the Labour. Our chairman is in the meeting with them, so I don't want to preempt. And the team of Governors Forum is meeting with the Labour. I don't want to preempt that meeting, please.
And you are assuring there will be harmony?
Yeah, governors, the business of governors is to ensure that there's harmony in the country.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
The governors have been accused of frustrating efforts to grant financial autonomy to state legislators and state judiciary, but Governor Tambuwal said they are in support of financial autonomy for the state lawmakers and that there was no impediment towards the implementation of the President's executive order. And still from Abuja, the National Security Advisor to President Muhammadu Buhari, retired Major General Babagana Manguna, has said some funds meant for the purchase of arms to strengthen the country's anti-terror war got missing under the leadership of the ex-service chiefs. The ex-service chiefs are Chief of Defense Staff, retired General Abayomi Olunishakin, Chief of Army Staff, retired Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, Chief of Naval Staff, retired Vice Admiral Ibok Ikwe Ibaz, and Chief of Air Staff, retired Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar. The NSA also added that the new service chiefs have not seen any of the arms that the funds were meant to procure. President Muhammadu Buhari had appointed Buratai, Olunishakin, Ibaz, and Abubakar in July 2015, but the president replaced them in January 2021 after a persistent clamor from Nigerians that he introduced fresh blood in the country's anti-terror war, especially against Boko Haram in Nigeria's northeast region. The new service chiefs are Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atayiro, Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Eze Gambo, and Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Isiaka Amao. Manguna had also said that the Buhari regime was not interested in dialogue with terrorists, bandits, and other criminals, as negotiation paints the government as weak and incapable. The NSA therefore vowed that the military, headed by the new chiefs, has what it takes to crush the enemies of the Nigerian state without the help of mercenaries. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives ad hoc committee set up to audit arms and ammunition procured by the armed forces has criticized the new Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Attairu, for failing to appear before it in person. The House ad hoc committee on the need to review the purchase, use and control of arms, ammunition and related hardware by military, paramilitary and other law enforcement agencies in Nigeria held its first investigative hearing in Abuja on Friday, where the Chief of Army Staff was represented by the Commandant, Army War College, Nigeria, Major General Charles Ofoche. Ofoche, while pleading with the committee for Attairu's absence, noted that Chief of Army Staff and other service chiefs were in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, and Enugu earlier on Thursday. The Chief of Army Staff representative also said, "We are at your service. We are here to serve you as a people, to serve all Nigerians, and we cannot pretend that we do not know there is crisis all over the country." One of the lawmakers, Aliyu Al-Mustafa, alleged that criminals had been caught with arms and ammunition said to have been procured by the armed forces. Al-Mustafa stated that the lawmakers were not witch-hunting the Chief of Army Staff or the Army. Ifeanyi Moma condemned the Chief of Army Staff for not writing the committee to introduce and endorse Ofoche to speak for him. Another member, Kabiru Idris, noted that based on Section 21 of the Public Procurement Act 2007, the Chief of Army Staff, who is the accounting officer of the Nigerian Army, should appear or empower his representative in writing. From Kaduna State, the state government has revealed that troops of the Nigerian Army have rescued 180 citizens abducted by gunmen in the state on Friday. The state said the citizens were abducted from the Federal College of Forestry Mechanization, Afaka, Igabi local government area of Kaduna State. A statement issued by the State Commissioner, Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruwan, shows that 42 male students, 130 male students and 8 staff were rescued by the troops. Aruwan said about 30 students, both male and females, are yet to be accounted for. The statement said troops of the Nigerian Army in the early hours of today, Friday, 12th March 2021, rescued 180 citizens, many of them students, at the Federal College of Forestry Mechanization, Afaka, Igabi local government area of Kaduna State. Without trial, a petitioner, Mark Chidebere Nwadi, has been awarded 7.5 million naira by the Lagos State Judicial Panel of Restitution and Inquiry set up to investigate cases of police brutality, especially involving officers of the now defunct Special Anti-Robbery Squad. The petitioner had complained that he spent 6 years in the prison without trial. Nwadi had alleged that his long stay in prison was because he could not offer a bribe. Chairperson of the panel, Doris Okwobi, delivered the judgment on Friday. Still to come in the news, agriculture sector receives a boost in Ogun State. More news and reports after the break. Thanks for joining us. The Agriculture Sector Technical Team of Ogun State Economic Transformation Program has been inaugurated with the expression of optimism in ensuring huge impact on food production and employment generation through agricultural value chains. Performing the inauguration at the conference room of the Ministry, Commissioner for Agriculture, Dr. Adiola Odedino, said government is bringing the people that will help achieve the dream of the state in the sector, Matthew Shomi completes the report.
Aware of the importance of agriculture in the development of any economy, the state decided to gather together people with diverse experience in modern agriculture practice to form the agriculture sector team of Ogun State Economic Transformation Program, a program sponsored by World Bank. Commissioner for Agriculture, Dr. Adeola Odedino, said the committee has come to give a further boost to what the state has recorded so far in the development of agriculture and food production.
What people want to see now is what are we doing on the field for irrigation? How are we supporting smallholder farmers? How are we making sure that people that we have gathered in the Ministry of Agriculture, close to 80,000, receive much needed linkage for job creation?
The program coordinator, Engineer Oluwatoyin Joko Senumi, revealed the program will be focusing on 3 key areas of framework for responsible and inclusive land investments in agriculture, the end-to-end value chain developments and infrastructure that will promote agriculture.
In another 1 year or 2 down the line, the rest of the world will be here to come and learn how to do modern agriculture that will ensure food security and ensure better livelihood, well-being for our people.
Framework for responsible and inclusive land investments in agriculture specialist Mr. Oladipupo Shofowora described it as a unique opportunity to contribute to the development of agriculture in the state. The head of the team and Commissioner for Agriculture spoke at the end of the inauguration.
Because it's a collection of related projects that is meant to deliver high-value benefits to the citizens of Ogun State and Nigeria in general, is focused at economic transformation.
We have agenda for agriculture in Ogun State, job creation, industrialization, food security. They are also part of OSTEP roadmap and what to be achieved.
The multi-million-dollar project sponsored by the World Bank is expected to run for 5 years in the states. Matthew Shomi, OGTV News.
Women constitute an indispensable force in the quest for national development of any nation. They play a vital role in decision-making for socio-economic development of the society, as they are often regarded as prudent managers of economic resources. In this special report, Olajumoke Oladipupo takes a look at the role of women in nation building. A report.
Women are architects of the society. They establish the institution of family life, build the home and the children to become responsible citizens. Economic development is strongly elevated when women enter the marketplace. Gender equity and women contribution play a central role both as a litmus test and as an active variable that shapes a more democratic, stabilized and developed nation.
Well, from one sense, Bible says that God created women to support the men. But it's just unfortunate that nowadays the role of women is even more than what men are doing.
There is this supposition that women are inferior to men. They are usually referred to as the weaker vessels, and their roles are usually downplayed. And in the real sense, they are supposed to be partners in development with the men.
According to respondents, the contributions of women to nation building cannot be overemphasized, as it entails constructing and fashioning of national identity, which include morals, national image, values, institutions, even physical monuments that depict history and culture of the people.
When you train a child, you've trained a nation. But the reverse is the case. I put this much blame on we mothers. I am a woman, don't forget. When we talk about home aspects, it is women. It's in the society, it is even in the church, every gathering, you see women at the forefront.
They added that women should not see themselves as child bearers alone, but also as nation builder, saying they should strive to empower themselves economically, which is fundamental to their ability to contribute meaningfully to nation building.
Because in most cases, the man goes out to work to bring in money, so the woman is the one that is often involved in shaping the lives of the children.
The society is what it is today because of mostly the weakness of many mothers. So I just hope that we women could do our possible best so that our children will not be wayward in the future.
Given the role some notable women have played and still playing in the African continent and globally, they should not only be given chance in greater capacity to contribute, but should be encouraged to do more. Olajumoke Oladipupo, OGTV News.
Gender inequality is the unequal treatment of individuals based on their gender. It mostly arises from the difference in socially constructed gender roles. What is the cause of these differences and how best can it be resolved? Margaret Okunlola examines closely the disparity in gender and the danger it has caused in society.
Gender inequality is the social process by which the male and female gender are not given the same treatment, as it is alleged that preferential treatment are given to male folks in the society. On the other hand, gender equality is a key factor in building sustainable nation, as no one feels left out in the affairs of the society. Respondent who spoke with OGTV stated that unequal treatment between the male and female gender may arise from various factors.
Religious, and other factors, cultural, traditions and religious. And we must break from this wholesome tradition that tends to inhibit improvement and development of women.
Belief system in our typical environment here.
Others said gender inequality is on the rampage as it has existed for decades, though there has been progress over the last few years as more laws are being reformed to advance gender equality, also stating ways to curb it.
You have to challenge for you to bring about a change. So I am happy that at least, even if it is slow, we are living where we used to be. We are living the status quo. We are jettisoning that age where they tell a woman that you cannot speak because you are a woman. We have examples that abound now.
Education, exposure, sensitization, mobilization, and then we'll be out of it.
By speaking up, I particularly like this dispensation of the youth of Nigeria today. Can see a fearless youth of Nigerians right now. They are fearless. They know what they want, they are learned, and then they are very articulate.
There is no how men can speak for us. There is no how they can fight our cause. It is when we know what is our problem and we fight it.
They subsequently charged the female gender on how to curb the social menace.
We only encourage our women to speak up, because if you don't speak up, we cannot know what is happening to you. We equally encourage the community, the society, when you notice that something like that is happening to your neighbor or is happening around you, speak up on behalf of that woman that cannot speak up.
I will employ women in the society that they should forget about sitting in the kitchen. That woman plays is in her husband's kitchen. They should come out and fight for their rights, because men cannot fight for our rights.
Information is powerful. Is a weapon. We wield it to our advantage, and the belief system, the tradition, the ethnic that is holding us back will be kept at bay.
In all, the society was charged to add a voice to gender equality. Margaret Okunlola, OGTV News.
Chrisland University, Abeokuta has matriculated over 300 students for the 2020-2021 academic session, as they were charged to start their journey into greatness with focus and determination. The Vice-Chancellor, Professor Chinedum Pace Babalola, who gave the church, promised to produce quality students who will make positive impact on the nation's socio-economic development. Elizabeth Esson reports.
All the student body should make restitution for damage done by me and or students to public property. So help me God.
The Vice-Chancellor, Professor Chinedum Babalola, while admitting the students, charged them to uphold the vision and philosophy of the institution, which are geared towards making them the 21st century graduates that will make positive impacts on the nation and the world at large.
And our mission is to create a learning environment that nurtures a sound moral and intellectual culture that attracts excellent blend of faculty from across the world and deploys resources to educate the total person.
In a lecture titled Character, Quality Education, Panacea for Success and Sustainable Wealth Creation, Dr. Benga Dewey urged the students to have the right attitude at seeking knowledge, be focused, and remain determined in order to excel.
When anybody succeed or get a result by cheating, we have destroyed education. Proper grading. Lecturers, please, let's ensure that we grade people according to their performance.
Some of the students expressed commitments to remain focused on their studies.
With everything they've said and everything they've done, I have to behave myself and I have to make everyone proud, both my parents. I have to make the school too proud.
We are the future of tomorrow and we have to have greater minds and obedience and discipline to be able to become great in the future and lead our country.
The 5-year university admitted students into 3 colleges, namely College of Basic Medical Sciences, Natural and Applied Sciences, as well as Arts, Social and Management Sciences. Elizabeth Esson, OGTV News.
Still talking education, the Ogun State Commissioner of Police, Edward Ajogun, had warned anyone who may want to perpetrate any form of criminality around school environment to desist or face the wrath of the law. Edward Ajogun, who gave this warning during the stakeholders meeting on school security held at the office of the Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Okemoson Abeokuta, assured that the Ogun State Police Command had deployed adequate personnel and necessary gadgets to combat any criminal activity, such as molestation, rape, kidnapping, among others. The Commissioner also frowned at smoking, selling and drinking of alcoholic drinks very close to school premises, saying that such businesses around the learning environment can only cause harm and hinder the learners' academic pursuits. It therefore charged all and sundry to join hands with the state government and the police force by reporting any suspicious activities capable of threatening the peaceful coexistence of people or that may lead to unrest. In his remarks, the Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Arigbabu, noted that schools are supposed to be places where students learn without any exuberances and affirmed that government will not allow anything that may disrupt teaching and learning activities in schools.
Maybe the type of operation is actually carrying out.
And it's very supportive.
Yes, the government has been supporting the
logistics.
So he has also, on this issue of security, and government has maybe moving around the communities.
Even the year one of the very precise. Yeah,
just set up this gear.
These operations, we never had a communication gadget. It was the one that provided us, even from Lagos.
In speaking, the President, All Nigerian Confederation of Principals of Secondary Schools, ANCOPS, Dr. Olubumi Wumiloju, appreciated the force for the usual support and prompt response, appealing to parents to complement teachers' efforts by training their children on moral lessons. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology has directed the proprietors and administrators of public and private primary, secondary schools and government science and technical colleges in Ogun State to conduct 2019-2020 annual school census. ASC earlier commenced on Monday, 8th February 2021 till date, will end on Friday, 19th March 2021. In a statement signed by the Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Arigbabu, all schools operating in the state, irrespective of the status, are expected to complete the 2019-2020 annual school census online via NEMI's website. www.nemis.gov.ng using respective email address earlier sent to schools through zonal education offices. Any school that fails to comply with this directive will be sanctioned accordingly by the state government. For further inquiry, the statement added, school administrators are to contact the zonal education officer where schools are situated. The installation ceremony of the 9th Osi of Egbaland, Chief Akim Olabode Mustafa, comes up tomorrow, 13th of March 2021, at the Ake Palace ground, Abeokuta. A statement from the planning committee as if that reception of guests comes up at the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library Event Center, Abeokuta. The 29th Annual Convention of the Jubilee Christian Church International Jubilee Convention is to commence on Sunday, 14th March 2021 in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. According to the General Overseer of the Ministry, Reverend Dr. Kunle Adeshino, the 8th-day program will be holding at 7 in the morning and 5 in the evening from Monday to Thursday at the main auditorium of the church headquarters at Isalia Betu, Abeokuta, and 8 in the morning on Sunday. Reverend Adeshino disclosed that the theme for this year's convention is From Victory to Victory, and it will feature word ministration, ministers' conference, empowerment workshops, and an evening of praise on Friday, 19th March at 4 in the afternoon. He said that anointed ministers of God have been invited as speakers, including Apostle Lawrence Achidomen, Reverend Dr. Bamidele Ayolowo, Apostle Ken Nwakama, Reverend David Amosun, Apostle Ayo Akingbade, Apostle Mike Tomo Mewo, Bishop Taiwo Akinola, and Reverend Abraham Akinola. The ministers' conference and the empowerment workshops are to hold between Tuesday and Thursday after the morning session ministrations at 10:30 in the morning. The grand finale on Sunday, the 21st March, will feature, among others, the graduation of students of the Bible Institute of the ministry. On Glimpses this week, we focus on the biggest masquerade in sub-Saharan Africa. It is called Ijele. Ijele towers about 15 to 12 feet based on gravitational balance construction. It is listed in the UNESCO archives as an intangible cultural element in need of urgent safeguarding.